brothers and sisters. I always used to use this word, brothers, sisters, because basically we are same. As a matter of fact, 7 billion human beings are actually our brothers and sisters. So today, you see, we, too much emphasis, we and they. On the religious basis or national or city basis, a different country like that. And within one country, distinction, rich and poor. All these are seed of our problem. So only remedy is we must develop the sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. All are brothers, sisters. I think child, young people, young human being, they don't care what religious faith, what different nationality. So long this is showing human affection, smile, play together. Gradually we too much emphasis on different nationality and races and color and religious faith. So now today we already noticed many problems is our own creation. Firstly, there's mobilized violence, that is a war. In the previous century, First World War, Second World War, and also you see different concerned people prepare Third World War. All this on the basis of too much sort of emphasis on we and they. So only remedy reduce this kind of thing is try to develop sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. We mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. And then most important, everybody want happy life. Do not want trouble or problem. So on that nature, why we create a lot of problem? Why? Everybody, you see, want peace, friendly sort of society. So now, ancient India's concept, over 3,000 years, concept of Ahimsa, and concept of Karuna. These are very basis of happy society, happy family, and ultimately happy world. So 1,000-year-old India's sort of concept, Ahimsa, Karuna, this I think world need. And the promotion of these things, not through ritual, prayer, but through education. We must utilize human intelligence, to show violence is actually ultimately mutual destruction. So, out of anger, kill one your enemy today, then next year new enemy come. Other hand, if we keep sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, no matter how difficulties from their attitude, still we are same human being. We have to live side by side with that belief and try to reach out. So these days I call dialogue is the human way to solve problem. Weapon is not human way. So I think past century produced a lot of weapon quite ferocity. Everywhere some problem or some disagreement happen, they always use weapon. So some scholar, they say, past century, nearly 200 millions of people killed through violence. But problem still there. The best way solve problem is dialogue. In order to carry meaningful dialogue, you must respect other. Consider as our brothers, sisters. Small disagreement always happen, even within one individual. Morning, you have one idea, and afternoon, different idea. So these two different idea itself is a contradiction. But since these ideas come from one single person, so will not sort of causing any problem. So similarly, 10 human beings, different views, different interests, but all our human brothers, sisters give sorority, that spirit, and some little sort of problem we can solve through friendly manner. So sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, are very, very important. Then this India, democratic country, rule of law, wonderful. I think rule of law and democracy, I think the result we can see. Now, India, I think second most populated nation, very peaceful. This peaceful from wholeheartedly peace. Other side, another big populated human country, China, looks peace, but everything control. India sought peace through voluntarily, with enjoy full freedom, and a little problem you can solve peaceful ways. So I think India is the, second most populated nation, peaceful. One sort of factor, rule of law. So your profession, very important to build happy society, happy country. If a lawyer or judge think more seriously about their pocket, then that's very difficult. So India, usually we describe Arya Bhumi, Bharat, Arya Bhumi, land of Arya Bhumi. So not only Aryan sort of race, in our sense, Aryan sort of, because Arya means the more mentally through spiritual sort of say, influence people more peaceful, more honest, more truthful. So, in 7th century, 8th century, Tibetan emperor, through marriage, very close link with Chinese emperor, but their heart always India side. For example, 7th century, Tibetan emperor Songtse Gampo married with Chinese princess. Then I feel he found this Chinese letter too complicated. So he, instead of learning Chinese letter, he decided to develop our own script, copy from Devanagari and alphabet, Kakakanga, Chachachanya, like that. That's 7th century. Then 8th century, Tibetan king, Chusong Tesen. You see, he also, very close link with Chinese because of the, from father's time, some forefather, some sort of through marriage, very close. And also Buddhism introduced in Tibet by Chinese Buddhists. And one very important Buddha statue, originally Buddha, then eventually reached China in Xingen, ancient Chinese capital. Now, I have been there and I visited that temple, small Buddhist temple. In the center, one empty seat there. They say the Buddha statue from here went to and brought to Tibet with Chinese princess. So very close link. But the 8th century, the Tibetan emperor, now he, instead of bring Buddhism from China, he want Buddhism should bring directly from India. So at that time, the Nalanda really high, sort of top sort of highly developed that time. Nalanda institution produced number of top scholars. You see, we use some of these scholars' writing. We use as our text. Really wonderful. Like Nagarjuna and Arya Asanga and the Buddha Palita, Arya Deva, and for logician, Buddhist logic, the great master Dignath and Dharmakirti. Their writing still we use as our text. Study 20, 30 years. So the 8th century Tibetan king, he wanted to establish Nalanda tradition. He invited at that time top master of Nalanda institution, Chandra Rakshita, great logician, great philosopher and monk, he invited to Tibet, and he, in spite his old age, he accepted. He came to Tibet. He introduced Buddha Dharma according to Nalanda tradition. So since then, over 1,000 years, we Tibetan sincerely follow his teaching. So I think those Tibetan emperor, Tibetan king, they are quite also wise thinking, long-term interest like that. So now today, the Nalanda tradition, the Nalanda itself now ruined. Some pigeons there flying from here, there, like that. But all the knowledge which carried by Nalanda institution, you see, all, because of the brought to Tibet, and then the 8th century, the Shantarakshita, he advised to Tibetan emperor, since you have your own writing, so all those important texts, instead of study Sanskrit or Pali, you see, you should translate. After Shantarakshita reached Tibet, and he established a department of translation. He himself provided Kasara. So under his guidance, translation started. Now eventually, today we have 300 volumes in Tibetan, all translation from Sanskrit and some Pali, and perhaps some Nepalese, and very few books from translation from Chinese language. So Tibetan history over 1,000 years, as we described, Arya Bhumi, we truly become a student of ancient Indian master. So I usually telling or expressing, traditionally, you are our guru, teacher, we are chela. And then I also add someone, we quite reliable chela. All these Nalanda knowledge still we kept very alive through 30 years study. I myself also, age about 6, 7 or 7-year-old, I already started to memorizing some of these root texts. So at that time, my intelligence quite good, but I was quite a lazy student. So my teacher threatened me with one whip. So at that time, I have no interest study these things. But gradually, my life become difficult. Then these, also the ancient knowledge of India, extremely helpful to bring inner peace, no matter what sort of the situation. You can keep peace of mind. And that brings willpower. Now today, you can see Tibet. Over 70 years, Chinese communists much sort of suppress, and about, I think, 1 million Tibetan killed. various method. Chinese communist, narrow-minded communist, they practice, but Tibetan spirit never died down. Still today, you see, about 6 to 7 million Tibetan in Tibet or in different part of China, Tibetan races, they all carry our spirit very strong. So now recently I heard some Chinese top leaders, you see, they realize their policy suppression is wrong, unrealistic method. Now they are thinking more realistic sort of method, realistic approach dealing Tibetan issue. So all these Tibetan people, we have very, very rich cultural heritage from India. So Tibetan nation, generally speaking, very proud. Chinese Han people also is very proud. Equally, we Tibetan also are quite proud. We have our own language, our own script. And then Buddha Dharma is concerned because we, as I mentioned earlier, text Dignak, Dharmakirti, these logic, Buddhist logic. China, they have not much interest about the logic. So in the past history, never translated this importance of text about Buddhist logic. We study. So Tibetan quite proud. And I come very remote area, northeast Tibet. But I feel we're quite proud. You see, we have our own language and our knowledge about Buddhist philosophy, Buddha Dharma, because we learned a logical approach. So, compared with Chinese Buddhist, is our mind more sort of smart. The Chinese Buddhists, Buddham Shanam Gacchami, Buddham Shanam Gacchami, like that. Not much sort of logical knowledge. The logical way approach is investigate, not just faith. Buddha himself, you see, express, my follower, monks, scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, but rather thorough investigation and experiment. So, for that, logic very important. So when we saw Buddha's sort of teaching, our immediate reaction is why Buddha said this? We never say yes, yes. The Chinese, yes, yes, yes. Truly. So therefore, now Tibetan as a nation, this Nalanda tradition really give us self-confidence and willpower. So, from that viewpoint also, we very, very grateful to this country. And then, me personally, now since 59, I become refugee. And one way I refugee, one way I'm longest guest of Indian government. So now these days I describe myself as the messenger of Indian thought. Wherever I go, I always talk about Ahimsa Karuna. So I truly, you see, carry the ancient Indian message, Karuna and Ahimsa, wherever I go. So, I think 60 years as a guest of Indian government, I think now almost I think I pay back because I carry the message of India to everywhere. And then India's also the tradition, the secular way, not based on religion, even non-believer. I believe in this religion, that religion. It's a personal matter. So long we are human being. So Ahimsa, Karuna, very relevant. So not based on religion. That's a very wise India's tradition.